My parents invested everything in my sister's future. I inherited whatever she no longer wanted. When I was 7, my older sister, Brooke, got a beautiful canopy bed with glowing fairy lights draped around it. I remember standing in her doorway, imagining how amazing my own bedroom would look when I was older. 2 years later, on my 9th birthday, my dad carried Brooke's old toddler bed into my room. It still had the safety rail attached. My mom smiled and said, "You should feel lucky. Brooke loved this bed." That was the year I stopped expecting presents. When Brooke turned 10, she got a brand new bicycle. By the time I turned 12, it became mine. The chain was rusted. One tire stayed flat. Dad handed me a pump and a wrench. "It'll teach you responsibility," he said. On my 16th birthday, I opened a gift card with $200 printed across the front. For one incredible second, I thought someone had finally bought me something special. Then my mom laughed. "Oh, there's only $20 left. We had to use the rest to help pay for Brooke's prom dress." "You understand?" I smiled and nodded, because I always understood. When college applications came around, my parents sat me down. They explained Brooke's tuition had cost much more than they'd planned. The education savings account was almost empty. "But you're resourceful," my dad said. "You'll figure something out." So I did. I signed loan after loan. Brooke graduated without owing a dollar. 10 years later, I was still paying off nearly $80,000 in student debt. 2 years ago, I met my boyfriend Jonah. He noticed things I'd spent my entire life pretending weren't unusual. He noticed I cried when his mother gave me a brand new sweater with the price tag still attached. I'd never really owned anything that hadn't belonged to someone else first. He noticed I apologized whenever I wanted something, even something small, as if wanting anything required permission. One day he asked why. I laughed it off and said I was just easygoing. He didn't laugh back. Last week, my parents rented out a restaurant to celebrate Brooke's 30th birthday. Toward the end of the evening, everyone gathered outside. Parked in front of the entrance sat a brand new SUV with an oversized red bow. Brooke screamed. She cried. She hugged both of my parents while everyone around us applauded. I stood near the back of the crowd, smiling. I'd had years of practice. My own birthday arrived 6 days later. My parents came to our apartment for dinner. No wrapped present, no birthday card. I told myself that was perfectly fine. Halfway through the meal, my dad reached into his pocket and slid a set of keys across the table. "Brooke doesn't need her old car anymore," he said. "We thought you'd like to have it." My mom smiled proudly. "We know you've always liked that car. The car with over 140,000 miles. The one with the dented bumper from Brooke's parking lot accident." I opened my mouth to thank them, like I always did. Before I could speak, my mom added, "Oh, we're also helping Brooke with the down payment on a house next month. She found the cutest place." Jonah slowly put down his fork. "How much are you giving her?" My mom answered without hesitation. "About 60,000. Jonah nodded thoughtfully before looking at my dad. "So let me get this straight. You paid Brooke's college tuition. You bought her a car when she turned 16. You just bought her another brand new SUV. And now you're giving her $60,000 toward a house." My dad shifted uncomfortably. "You don't understand how we've managed our finances?" Jonah looked him straight in the eye. "I understand arithmetic. That's well over $200,000 invested in one daughter." He turned toward me. "What did your other daughter receive? A secondhand bike? A nearly empty gift card? $80,000 in student debt, while you hand her sister another advantage." My father stood up. "You're crossing a line. She's never complained. She understands." Jonah didn't raise his voice. "She understands because you spent her entire childhood teaching her she wasn't worth anything new. You didn't just buy Brooke nicer gifts. You built her future, and you expected your other daughter to build hers alone." He picked up the keys sitting on the table. Then he placed them back in front of my parents. "Keep the car. She's done accepting leftovers." 3 months later, Jonah asked me to come with him to a dealership. Parked in the showroom was a modest new car with a bright bow stretched across the hood.